The budding of a flower is almost better than its fullness, for it carries anticipation. Greetings, beloveds. This is Amy Caryn Johnson, the Earth Channel, here with you today with the third part of 4 in a series on lunar phases and cycles. So today I'm just going to begin with half my poem, then now go into the channeling part of it. Afterwards, I may share a little bit of personal insight if I feel a little additional might be necessary, and end with the second half of the poem. So if you'd like to join me for a few deep breaths and closing your eyes, here we go. Hello, this is Gaia. With this message, our focus is the waxing crescent moon phase. The waxing crescent moon represents newness, as we spoke about in previous videos. It is only when the light begins to return to the moon as it is reflected from the sun after the dark moon that people in previous centuries called it the new moon. When it was completely dark, it was called the dark moon, even though today people generally call it the new moon. But that helps to signify the newness of that light being reflected back to Earth for that month. This time represents a good time to begin new things, plant new seeds, especially at the very beginning of that phase, to meet new people, make new friends. And like the budding flower spoken of in the beginning of the poem, it is a time of vulnerability, and yet with the anticipation of reaching the fullness of the beauty of that flower. Now, as we mentioned before, the phases of the moon do parallel that of a woman's cycle. The dark moon represents the first day of her cycle and a time for quietness and reflection, time to just let go of external things and turn within. And so there is a bit of that comes into this first part of this cycle, but which we already spoke about to some degree. And so we are focusing in this video more so on the first quarter and that energy that comes with that. But after that period of reflection and introspection is still a very good time to plant new seeds, as we mentioned, both physically and figuratively, to contemplate new dreams, new aspirations. And yes, this would be the very early part of that monthly cycle where things are fresh and new. Anything that you may begin to hope for, begin to dream, and begin to embark upon or strive for, perhaps. And especially when it comes to the aspect of meeting new people and making new friends, it is a time of vulnerability, represented somewhat by the figure of the Fool in Tarot. And yet only by being vulnerable can anything truly new come into the world. It is worth the risk. And while you may learn from mistakes, from feedback, or even maybe from criticism, although that can be the most painful way to learn, pay attention to what those lessons are really trying to tell you. Maybe they're not trying to tell you to stop. Maybe they're just telling you that you have not yet found your audience, your supporters, your family, your soul family. It is only by continuing to put yourself out there, express yourself, and keep your eyes fixed upon, at least internally, your true aspiration, the reason you began that venture, the feeling that you hoped to achieve with it. And if you can bring about a pure focus upon that, it is very likely that your results will be to your liking. However, if you do receive criticism of any kind, ideally it would be constructive private criticism. The worst is vague public criticism as far as its helpfulness. It may also be reflecting back to you part of your vibration with this endeavor that you began. You may not have realized that part of what was in your vibration was self-doubt, perhaps, or opposition of some kind, contrast of some kind, of perhaps something not wanted, unwanted. And so when it comes back to you in whatever form, it is just revealing to you that that was there for your benefit, truly, even though it may not feel like it. And so in that respect, all is well. It is still for your highest good and fullest well-being for you to reaffix your focus upon that aspiration, upon the original why, upon the beautiful and full love that was embodied by your original vision. When you begin a new venture, there is an innocence that comes with it, of not necessarily knowing not only what will come of it, but also what the response may be. And so whatever the response is just giving you feedback for you to either refine your vision or to reinforce the original vision and original feeling associated with it. If it is to refine, it's identifying a slight course correction, a little guidance, that's all. And you may realize perhaps that what you were really going for might be better achieved in some other way, and that's okay too. We thank you so much for joining us. Namaste, beloveds. Hello. So I think part of that message was actually for me too. That's frequently the case, but in this case, I definitely am hearing it and realizing partly why it was for me right in this moment. Yesterday, I did a live channeled message from Gaia, and I did get 2 new subscribers, so thank you so much to those new subscribers. I greatly appreciate that support. And yet, you may have noticed on YouTube that I do not show the number of people who have liked and disliked my videos. By and large, I usually get 100% likes, even though it may not be that many yet. However, every once in a while, I get someone who dislikes my videos. And that's okay too, but that does fall into the category that Gaia was just talking about, where, excuse me, it's vague public feedback. And you only know because I'm telling you right now, because I'm not showing how many people dislike my videos. But for all they know, perhaps other people can see it. I certainly can see it. I don't know what it is that they don't like about my videos. Maybe, for all I know, it has absolutely nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with them. So I am open to feedback. I am very sensitive to feedback. And of course, I do see those likes and dislikes. So I greatly appreciate your support through likes. And if you would like to give me any other kind of feedback, I do welcome it. I would prefer that it be a little more specific and private. So I usually include my email address down below in the comments, so you're welcome to send me a message. Constructive is always good. If you want to, please don't share your vitriol with me. That's not helpful to anyone. Not you, not me. So I don't think I will achieve that or get that, excuse me. But, you know, I think there was a little bit of a impure focus yesterday for me because I had just experienced some feedback. And I don't necessarily think I have attracted it recently with anything that I've thought or done recently, but I can definitely see how I attracted it in my past and that it's not completely out of my energy field yet. And so I was just getting that feedback basically that that vibration is still a little bit there. And so I need to clarify my focus even more so on the positive, and I encourage you all to do the same. When you give someone positive feedback of what you would like to see, you're much more likely to actually get that. Not only from them, but in return from everywhere, including yourself. It's a little bit like Esther Hicks Abraham talks about, where you make a list of positive aspects, for example. Things you like, things you appreciate. The more you focus on that, the more you will find blooming in your life. All right, so that's enough for me for now. And I will now close with the second half of the poem. You can dry and press and extract, but none of these are as lovely as the budding expectation.